As far as like rustic, rugged, caveman beauty, I think that a smoked deer ham is one of the coolest things you can make. It's a little bit tricky and it requires some special equipment and it requires you to pay a lot of attention to what you're doing, but it's definitely not impossible. You want to start out with one bone-in venison ham that's like, you know, 7 pounds to 20 pounds. For your brine, you want to start out with 2 gallons of water and put it in a big pot on the stove and start heating it up. And add in kosher salt, brown sugar, yellow mustard seeds, black peppercorns, some juniper berries, bay leaves, and garlic, and a tablespoon of Prague powder #1, which sometimes people call pink salt. And bring that to a boil in order to make sure everything is dissolved in there. And then you want to chill it. You want to make sure that you have a container, your brining container kind of matches the size of the ham, right? You don't want this giant container and a little ham because it's going to take so much brining liquid to cover it. So find the right kind of thing that holds it pretty tight so you can get the brine and get it submerged. The ham might want to float up to the top for a while, right? So what you do is you take a plate or something, just something non-reactive that you can put on there and weight it down to keep the leg submerged under the brine. You're gonna brine it for like a small deer leg, it might be 4 days. For a big deer leg, it's gonna be up to a week. And just you wanna keep injecting that thing with brine. Another good trick is to take a fillet knife and perforate that leg, stab it all over so that the brine has a way of working in because you want the brine all the way down to the bone. Give it a thorough rinse in the sink and just rinse all that brine off. Then pat it dry with towels or paper towels. And then you wanna tie it around the knuckle there so you can hang it in your smoker. Or if you're doing it in a pellet grill where you need to lay the thing down, don't worry about the string, you can just lay it on the rack of the pellet grill. But if you have a big chamber smoker, which I prefer for this application, is tie a string and truss the leg so you can hang it up. And you want to go into your smoker and set the smoker as close as you can to about 180 degrees. If it eases up into 200, that's okay, but don't let it go much below 180. And just start slowly smoking that leg. Depending on size, it could take anywhere from say 6 to 12 hours. If you need to rush it along, you can let your smoker creep up into 225 or 250, but it's better to linger around the 200 mark if you have the time and just slowly smoke it. During the process, as these hours go by that you're smoking it, every couple hours go in there and take a look and make sure something crazy is not happening, right? You just want to keep looking at it. You realize that something's getting burnt, something's wrong with your smoker. Don't just like go, leave for work for 8 hours trusting that everything's cool. You want to be kind of present, watching it, because you got a lot of work into this thing, and you don't want a dumb mistake to come along and destroy the whole thing. So when you're doing a deer ham, go ahead and smoke it up until you hit 150. When you put your meat thermometer in there, go down and hit the femur, like go down to the bone and check your temperature. If you're dealing with black bear or wild pig or anything that can carry trichinosis, keep smoking it until you get up to 160. What you might need to do to bump up that extra 10 degrees, if you're just getting bored of smoking the thing, is crank your smoker up a little bit. So you crank your smoker up to 225 or so to march it over that final line of 160 to make it safe. Then you want to pull the thing and let it cool. So you can see here, that's pretty perfect brine. There's one little spot that didn't get hit, but I can live with that. Sometimes you do these, if it's not right, you do it and you'll just have all this be brown, but that's how you know you got a good brine. Little lesson to be learned, but there's one spot that we missed. And then for cutting it, for slicing it, go like this. Start knocking off. You can serve this any way you serve a traditional ham. I like it particularly well, just like this, right out of the smoker, still warm, served as a dinner entree. For this recipe and more, get the MeatEater Fish and Game Cookbook, available just about anywhere books are sold.